Welcome to Critical Path Podcast. So think about the sound of modern shopping for a second. It's that B-E.
Oh yeah, that sharp, super specific beep.
Exactly. Every time a laser hits a barcode, that sound has basically defined retail for, 50 years?
For sure. But if you've been to a Uniqlo lately, that sound is just gone. It's silent.
It's so weird. You go up to the counter with, a mountain of clothes.
A jacket, some socks, 5 different shirts.
Yeah. And instead of the cashier doing that awkward wrestling match with the scanner trying to find the tag,
There's just this plain white bucket. You just drop your entire pile of stuff into the hole. And instantly, before the clothes even land, the screen just lights up.
it's like magic. It knows everything. The size, the color, the price. It didn't scan a single thing. It just knew.
And that little moment of silence is actually a pretty big deal. It's the surface tremor of this massive supply chain revolution that's happening right now.
This is Critical Path, where we explore stories and innovations about our global supply chain that connect our world to your everyday life.
And that bucket, that magic bin, as we're calling it, is basically the tombstone for the barcode.
So today, our mission is to basically tear apart that little paper price tag.
Yep. We're going to look at the tech and the super tight economics behind what we're calling the death of the beep.
And we're going to find out why this whole revolution isn't really about making your checkout faster. It's about fixing a huge, decades-old disaster in logistics.
Okay, so to get this, you really have to go back in time, before 1974.
Right, before the barcode. Because back then, inventory wasn't just hard, it was a statistical nightmare.
It was pure manual labor. The whole world basically ran on guys we'll call Gary.
Gary?
If a store manager needed to know how many blue jeans they had in a size medium, some guy named Gary had to walk into the stock room with a clipboard and count them. 1, 2, 3.
And if Gary gets distracted or miscounts or just, can't be bothered to look behind a box...
Your entire inventory system is wrong.
Hey.
Instantly. Gary's are, let's just say, inefficient.
Then, June 1974, everything changes. Marsh Supermarket in Ohio.
And what was the very first thing ever scanned?
A pack of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit Gum. And that was it. That was the moment we gave a physical thing a digital identity.
A huge leap. Monumental. But it came with this built-in flaw, a physical problem.
The line of sight bottleneck.
That's it. And this is the source of all your frustration at self-checkout.
Oh my gosh, yes. That unexpected item in baggage area. Scream.
Because the laser has to see the black bars, you have to find the sticker, turn the product just right, flatten out the tag.
Get that perfect eye contact between the product and the machine.
Right. And for a business like fast fashion, where everything is about volume and speed, line of sight is the enemy. It slows everything down.
So Uniqlo figured they needed a system where they didn't have to see the product.
They need to feel it through radio waves.
So if lasers are out, what's actually inside that little tag if you peel one apart?
What you'll find is this squiggly metallic thing that looks kind of like a Rorschach test. That's the antenna.
And in the middle of it,
there's this tiny black speck. It's barely the size of a grain of sand. And that little speck is a fully functional microchip.
Okay, hold on. A computer chip. In every single item, even like a $3 pair of socks. That just can't be economical.
And you'd be totally right if this were 20 years ago.
Right, because Walmart tried this, didn't they? Project Alpha or something.
They did, back in the mid-2000s. And it failed for exactly that reason, cost.
So what were we talking cost-wise back then?
So if you're tracking a huge pallet of goods worth thousands, 50 cents is nothing. But if you're selling a $5 pair of underwear...
You're losing money on every single sale just because of the tag.
It was a great idea. But the economics were just impossible for cheap, high-volume stuff.
So what changed? Uniqlo played the long game, obviously.
2 things, really. One is just Moore's Law. Chips get cheaper and better over time. But the real game changer was Uniqlo's sheer purchasing power.
They just decided to buy so many that the price had to drop.
Billions. We're talking billions of these tags every single year. When you commit to that kind of volume, you're not just asking for a discount, you're forcing the entire manufacturing process to become more efficient. You are engineering a price drop.
So what's the magic number now? What does a tag cost today?
We're down to about 3 to 4 cents per tag.
3 to 4 cents.
And that's the tipping point. At 4 cents, the whole calculation flips. It becomes cheaper to put that tiny computer into the price tag and just let it get thrown in the trash.
Than it is to pay a person to stand there and spend a few seconds scanning a barcode.
The chip is literally cheaper than the employee's time.
That's an incredible thought. So the money works, but that doesn't solve the physics. How does the bin actually work without, reading the entire store?
Right, so now we get into the cool physics part. The first thing to know is that this is passive RFID.
Meaning no battery.
Exactly. The tag is totally dead. It's asleep until the moment you drop it in the bin.
So what wakes it up?
The bin itself is a contained storm of radio waves. It's constantly blasting out energy in that small space.
And the little metal squiggle, the antenna catches those waves.
It catches them like a sail catches the wind. It harvests just enough energy from those waves to wake up the microchip for a fraction of a second.
So it's like a tiny wireless-powered computer.
For a millisecond. And in that millisecond, it uses that harvested energy to scream back its identity. I have a medium black Keytech shirt, serial number 8492.
And that process is called backscatter.
That's backscatter. But, this brings up the biggest engineering challenge. If the reader is that powerful, why doesn't it just read the inventory in the stockroom? Or worse.
The stuff in the bag of the person standing behind you in line.
The nightmare scenario. You get charged for things you didn't even buy. That's called cross-reading, and it would be a total disaster.
So they needed absolute perfect precision. How'd they solve it?
The Uniqlo bin isn't just a plastic bucket. It's a very clever piece of engineering disguised as boring furniture. It's actually a Faraday cage.
Wait, a Faraday cage? Like military-grade stuff they use to block signals? For selling socks?
It sounds like overkill, but it's totally necessary. The walls of that bin are lined with a shielding material, like a metal mesh.
And that creates a radio silence zone around the bin.
Precisely. It contains the radio storm. The readers inside are calibrated to only listen to what's happening inside that very specific cubic foot of space. It forces the chaos of radio waves into disciplined, absolute precision.
Which means it doesn't matter if the tag is crumpled up or facing the wrong way.
Radio waves don't care. They go right through the fabric. It's instant. But here's the most important part of this whole thing.
Okay.
Uniquely,
the magic bin is just the parlor trick.
it's the candy coating. The real reason for this massive investment is to fight a ghost that haunts every single retailer on the planet.
And that ghost's name is phantom inventory.
Phantom inventory. It's the stuff that the store's computer thinks is on the shelf, ready to sell, but physically, it's not there.
So it's been stolen, or it's lost in the stockroom, or
a customer picked up a size medium shirt, decided against it, and then just stuffed it behind a pile of extra large coats.
Right.
To the computer, that shirt exists. But to the customer who wants it, it's gone.
So how bad is this problem? What's the number?
The number is, it's pretty shocking. The average retailer's inventory accuracy is only about 65%.
65. Wait, hold on. You're telling me that for every 10 items a store thinks it has, 3 or 4 of them are just not there.
It's brutally real.
How does any business even survive with a 35% error rate? That's a death sentence.
They survive by pouring tons of money and labor into trying to fix the bad data. But think about what that 65% number means for the supply chain.
Well, if the computer thinks you have 5 shirts left, it's not going to order more.
Exactly. So a customer comes in, the shelf is empty, and you just lost a sale. But it gets worse. That bad data screws up all the automated logistics. You get overstocking in warehouses to compensate. You have to do expensive emergency shipments.
And you still have to pay poor Gary to go out and physically count everything every few weeks just to try and find the ghosts.
Right. So that 4-cent tag isn't about checkout speed. It's about data. It's about getting to 100% accuracy.
It's a guarantee of perfect data fidelity. With this system, a worker can just walk down an aisle with a handheld reader.
And in seconds, get a perfect count of every single item on that shelf without seeing a single tag. It finally kills the phantom inventory ghost.
So the death of the beep isn't really about the customer. It's about making the entire global supply chain actually work the way it's supposed to.
That's the takeaway.
Huh?
A 4-cent microchip plus a Faraday cage is all about fixing this massive, fundamental inventory failure that has been crippling retail for 50 years.
And that really raises a huge question for the future. So we're asking you, if everything in a store, and maybe someday everything you own, is constantly broadcasting its location with these cheap tags, what's next?
What new opportunities or, ethical problems do you think will be the next major disruption?
We really want to know what you think. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, we'll be reading them.
Thanks for listening and watching. Please like and subscribe, and make sure to check out our other podcasts.